Yes, so welcoming you once again.
Yes.
Welcoming all the viewers joining us from the different time zones to the Women's Economic Forum Bangalore 2020, the first of its kind digital summit, with the theme being Reconnect, Reboot, Reset, Re-energizing Enterprise in the New World. So it's lovely to have with us Nidhi Prakash. Nidhi Prakash is a dietitian and she's professionally qualified and well-trained clinical dietitian and nutritionist, practicing in Kolkata for the last 8 years, before which she was working with Apollo and Rockland hospitals. Amazing to have you on board, and we have a very interesting topic for today, which is why supplements, why not food, and what is the importance of vitamins. Though we've studied about it in science from our school days, there's always a question. As a mom, it's very difficult to explain to my children what is the importance, especially when the fads are in that you can pop in the pills anytime. It's very difficult. So here we have with us Nidhi throwing light into this topic. So the stage is all yours, Nidhi. Please take over.
Good evening, everybody. And my topic, which you have decided, is very interesting, I would say. And nowadays, people want to, pop in a lot of supplements, because this is a shortcut method. Sometimes they think who will eat. Sometimes, most of the time, when somebody wants to lose weight, then also, they think if they will eat some food, then along with the vitamins and minerals, some amount of fat will also go in to their body. So they, to save themselves from eating that much calories, they opt for having supplements. There are lots of meal replacement shakes are available in the market, protein supplements, whey protein. People are selling them at very high price. One scoop of that provides around 30 to 40 grams of protein. But if we see, then natural sources are also very good. Same amount of protein, 100 grams of fish or chicken provides you around 20-25 grams of protein. So one piece of fish and chicken and fish, they are called lean protein. Fat content is very less in these types of proteins. So all in we say that vitamins and supplements, they are at certain point not very healthy to consume in the form of pills. you know uh, it is advisable or for those people who are hospitalized and who are old elderly people, those who cannot consume a larger portion of food because of their health issue, or maybe for children who or maybe an underweight people, their appetite is very low. Underweight people, they cannot eat a good amount of food. For them, it is recommended to take multivitamin capsules and then iron pills and all that. But at the same time, pregnant women or lactating women, they also need extra folate, extra iron. So in that case, these supplements are recommended. But it is always advisable to take these supplements for a short period of time, till under the guidance of your doctor, medical practitioner, professionally qualified dietitians. So they suggest for the time duration, and after that, one should give a gap for say a year or 6 months, and after that they can again start these medications if required. Otherwise, one should go back to this normal, healthy, balanced diet. So this a healthy, balanced diet cannot replace these vitamins and mineral supplements, because sometimes too much of supplements, they create toxicity also in your body, and they interact with other food items, and sometimes who is taking chemotherapy, undergoing chemotherapy, so those chemo drugs, they interact with various types of supplements, so it's better not to take without proper advice. So sometimes in crash dieting, if somebody is doing there also, some deficiency occurs because they are off the cereals and pulses. So then they go for supplements, but this is not advisable. And these supplements are advisable to sometimes those people who are lactose intolerant. So, if they're lactose intolerant, though they cannot consume milk and products. So, in that case, calcium deficiency occurs. So, they can take calcium supplements as like in the form of pill, because they have to consume rice milk or almond milk. So, in that, or soya milk. So in soya milk, its calcium is in good quantity, but still after getting blood test done, if they find that they are not getting sufficient amount of calcium and other vitamins and minerals, then they can ask their doctor to, if they can include this in the supplement form. Yeah. And another person, like those who have celiac disease. Celiac disease is like gluten absorption. So in their body, they cannot eat gluten-rich items like wheat, oats, and these items. They cannot eat the raw chapati. They cannot eat. So only rice, and so sometimes vitamin, multivitamin, vitamin B6, B1, B2 deficiency occurs. So they can take supplements. So our topic is that why supplements one should go for this food only. So in a balanced diet, various types of protein and then carbohydrate rich items are there, fruits is there, a good amount of, at least one should consume 300 to 400 grams of fruits. And apple is a very good source of antioxidants. And then green tea is also good in antioxidant. So when one is getting good amount of antioxidant from vitamin C, like lemon and amla, guava, etc., and then vitamin E also is available in various types of olive oil, olive oil, and various other sources are there. So then why to go for these supplements? One can easily get a good amount of fructose, sugar, and fiber. So vegetables are a very good source of fiber. So green leafy vegetables are there, plenty of vegetables. And in India, there are lots of herbs and spices. Turmeric is, nowadays very in. We are to boost our immunity, one should consume good amount of vitamin D. And vitamin D is also, people who are vegan or pure vegetarian, so they cannot consume animal products. And vitamin D is basically found in sun rays and animal products. And
Okay.
same with vitamin B12 also.
Okay.
So these people, they become deficient in vitamin B12 and vitamin D. So for them, supplements are recommended. And vitamin D supplement is recommended to nowadays almost 80 to 90% people, because we are, like earlier times we used to play, children used to play outside, and we used to like stand under the sun for at least half an hour or so. Nowadays, people are working in their offices for right from 9 in the morning till 7 or 8 in the evening. So now there is no lunch break. They are getting just 10 minutes break. Earlier it used to be like half an hour or 1 hour break. So then they used to go out of their house, their office building, and then standing under the sun, having tea, etc. So now that is why people are becoming deficient in vitamin D, and because of the deficiency of vitamin D, their absorption of calcium and phosphorus reduces, and they become prone to
Osteoporosis.
osteoporosis.
I was just getting there, Nidhi, that there's been a lot of hue and talk about deficiency of vitamin D right from teenage kids
Yes.
to almost 80 to 90% of women mainly. So yeah, you answered that question lovely. Yes.
And another, in some community, parda system is there, and
Mm-hmm.
so they also become deficient in vitamin D.
Okay. Okay. That's lovely. So we have another question saying that what about multivitamin pills after 40? They generally recommend, right, that calcium and a lot of other multivitamin pills you should take after 40 because of a
Um,
lot of reasons. So what is
yes.
your suggestion on that?
Yeah, and sometimes because of multivitamin deficiency, people have craving for sweet dishes,
True.
sweets also.
Okay.
So, multivitamin Bicosol, or say multivitamin like A to Z Gold with zinc, they are safe. One can consume for say 2 3 months, and then one should discontinue for another 2 3 months, take a
Okay.
break, and then can again start consuming.
Okay.
And in this period, one should consume at least 300 to 400 grams of fruits in a day, and at least 400 to 500 grams of vegetables in the form of salads, and sprouts is very good, high in vitamin B6 and B2, B3. So these are the vitamins which we find in that multivitamin capsule.
True. True.
Multivitamin capsule has all that thiamine, riboflavin, niacin, that is B1, B2, B3, and all that, vitamin B9, folate, and B12. So all these things are there, and zinc, and etc. So if one is getting, and in our body, according to RDA, recommended dietary
Dietary allowance.
allowance, the quantity is pretty less.
Okay.
So that much, 1 milligram, 2 milligrams, this is what our body needs. And especially fat soluble vitamins like vitamin A, D, E, and K, they are stored in our liver.
Okay.
Only that water soluble vitamins, which are like B vitamins, they and vitamin C, they are water soluble. So we had to consume it on a regular basis, say a glass of lemon water in a day. And along with that, if this apple is a good source of vitamin C,
Okay.
and guava is the highest.
Okay.
So if one consume say one guava and one apple, and again 2 3 mosambi juice, a glass of mosambi juice, then just 1 gram of vitamin C is required in a day, not more than that. So one can easily get that. Around 250 milligram is there in one guava.
Okay.
So, and pulses, etc. They're also, yeah, in herbs and spices, curry patta, and all, they
Hmm.
are also a good source of vitamin C and all that.
Absolutely.
So,
Okay, one more question we have, quickly taking it up. What about whey protein? When they hit the gym, they generally tell them, whey protein is very good and you need to take that. So they have those protein mixes and the shakes and all that stuff. How it, of course, shows on their body and it helps them, but how good or bad is it?
Whey protein isolates are good for those who want to build their muscles.
Okay.
Usually we need zero point 0.8 to 1 grams of protein per kg ideal body weight. This is
Okay.
the requirement.
Okay.
So if somebody weighs around 60 kg, he needs 50 to 70 grams of protein in a day. And 50 to 70 grams of 50 to 60 grams of protein can be easily acquired through our diet. If somebody is non-vegetarian, then to is very easy for them. Say one egg provides you 6 to 7 grams of protein. A
Okay.
glass of milk provides around 7 grams of protein. One bowl of curd around 100 grams again provides 7 to 8 grams of protein. Pulses also, though the bioavailability of protein which we get from pulses is not very good,
Hmm.
because it is not absorbed properly.
Okay.
So that is why animal protein is always better than vegetarian protein. But it's still, soya protein, and then legumes are there, then rajma, chola, these chickpeas, they are very good in high in protein.
Okay.
So one can easily get, if we calculate all these things in our and prepare a diet chart. So in, if two pieces, say 100 grams of chicken will again provide 20-25 grams of protein.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
like right from the morning, say a glass of milk and then a bowl of curd. So we can easily get 50 to 60 grams of protein, which is required for us
Okay.
through food. But those who are want to build their muscle, they need around 90 to 100 or 120 grams of protein. So
Okay.
for them, eating this much quantity, a large portion of chicken and all, is not possible. So then
Hmm.
they can take one scoop of whey protein, and
Okay.
at the same time, this we can prepare this whey protein at home also.
Okay.
One can, boil double tone milk and
Hmm.
use some lemon or vinegar to, separate that whey from that casein. So
Okay.
this way, that with the liquid which comes out from there, that can be consumed in a day, maybe 2 glasses or 3 glasses.
Okay.
So natural, this is again a natural source of whey protein.
Excellent. Thank you so much. It was really, really very informative. And when it comes from a qualified and a trained person like you, I think people take this more seriously than when we just read it out of the internet, or when somebody just offhand tells us something. So it was lovely having you on board. And yes, so you have been conferred with the award of the iconic woman creating a better world for all. Thank you so much, Nidhi, for being a part of this lovely digital summit. And all those who wish to connect with Nidhi could do that on, the other chat rooms that we have. Yes. So thank you so much, Nidhi. Lovely speaking with you.
Yeah, thank you so much. There are two chats there showing.
They will connect with you outside this platform.
Okay. Shall I leave now?
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Hello, Susan.
Hello, Shital. Are you the moderator for my session?
Yes, I am. Yes, I
Oh,
am.
wonderful to meet you.
Likewise, likewise, Susan.
Shital,
Yes,
I'm not, I believe we're live, but
yes.
still, I am not very good at the technology of all of this. So if
Okay.
there are any questions during my presentation, would you alert me?
Absolutely. So after your entire, whatever you want to say, your speech is over, I will get on with the questions for that as well.
Thank you very much indeed.
Most welcome. Yes. So how have you been? Which part of the world are you in right now?
I live in Amsterdam.
Lovely. And
So,
how is it there now?
well, it's raining, but apart from that, we are having a much easier time now with the
Okay.
pandemic than I
Okay.
know that you are, and I'm so sad about that. There's so much suffering, and so we are now really certainly the first wave
Mm-hmm.
has gone, and we've loosened the restrictions are all loosened here now.
Okay. Okay.
And there's a little bit of an uptick, but we don't know where that's going. But things, this is a very small country, and it's very organized, and so we feel very well and safe and privileged with this situation. We really do. Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
So it's great to know that Amsterdam is in a better position now, and India is surely striving towards it, and we're really making it's actually seen in the numbers that we're really moving from a not so okay stage to a better stage right now. So
I'm so pleased to hear that. Yeah, that's very, very powerful news to have before I begin speaking. Thank you.
you're most welcome. Yes, so welcoming all the viewers joining us from different time zones to the Women's Economic Forum Bangalore 2020, the first of its kind digital summit with the theme being Reconnect, Reboot, Reset, Re-energizing Enterprise in the New World. We have with us Susan Colin Marks, and she is a peace ambassador for Search for Common Ground. She is an internationally renowned peacemaker and peace builder, holds an MA in International Relations from the University of Kent at Canterbury, and a lot of other things apart from which she writes, she speaks, she counsels, she teaches, and most importantly, she supports peace initiatives internationally. I think this is a beautiful, beautiful thing that you have taken up as a purpose and of life, which is, I think, should be there in all of us, but very few of us actually recognize it and take it up as a duty and a responsibility. So kudos to that, and so happy and so proud to be sharing the screen with such an eminent personality. And I bet I have so much to take away today, and so will our viewers from all over. I can be reading her resume like for 1 hour. I would request her to take the stage and please start off with this lovely topic of wisdom in the time of conflicts, building inner and outer peace. Over to you, Susan. We're all waiting to hear.
Sheetal, what a beautiful, beautiful welcome and introduction. I have shivers, and I feel so welcomed by you, and I thank you. And I want to just pick up on what you said about all of us. Uh, we all actually have the capacity and the possibility to be making and building peace within ourselves in our lives every single day. It's and one of the things I've wanted to talk about, so I'll just jump right in and throw away what I was going to start with, and say that that we make choices. We all make choices every day, all the time, and who we are at any point is the sum of our choices. you know, the sum of every choice we've made brings us to where we are. And I have tremendous faith in the human spirits. And my own sense is always that people are essentially good, and that we choosing to be a force for good in the world, whatever we do, it has nothing to do with what we do specifically. Whatever we do, it's how we engage with the world out there every day, whether it's the people right around us, our colleagues, our family, or with the greater world. And then the other place, of course, is our inner world and our inner life. And for me, that's where it all begins. And all of the great sages have all said, peace begins within. And
right.
so, but I don't think we have to wait until we've made inner peace to be able to live this in our lives. I think these things are ongoing processes. I can attest to that. You can see that I've lived many years, and the work for me is ongoing. The inner work is ongoing, and will be till my last breath. And it's a joy. This is not heavy. This is not difficult in the sense of being a chore. It's just what makes those choices, is that inner work. So we talked a little about India before we started, and these are very difficult times. There is in the world a great deal of suffering and loss, and there's we don't know what's going to happen. People are living in fear. We're going through the greatest transformation the world has ever seen, because there are more people, more interconnected systems. And as a result of this, we're going through also a lot of conflict. Look at the conflicts that have come up around this pandemic about how do we handle it? What is the new world that's emerging? Because that's the other piece, the other side of this coin, is the possibility and the transformation that is already emerging out of this. I mean, look at this conference that we're having. You beautiful people at WEF have brought together hundreds of women from all over the world digitally, when not so long ago, a few months ago, probably you would have been thinking about how to do it in person. And in fact, you know, and you've changed in a moment, and you've brought in this technology, you've built a platform. I have no idea how you do it, because I don't understand it. But what I do know is that you've turned, as the Americans say, on a dime and transformed. So we can change things, and we are. And what I'm seeing from here, as I watch the news, as I read, as I listen, is a longing for a fairer, better, kinder, greener world. And you know, there's a Tibetan legend that said that when the world is in trouble, the Shambhala warriors will return, and their weapons will be insight and compassion. And I do believe that is this time. And while, of course, there are always forces trying to take advantage of it, there are also greater forces, because people are wanting a different kind of world. And we're seeing that happening. We're seeing it in policies, in mayors and states speaking, the governors of mayors and governors of states speaking and saying, we're not going to do it the same old way. And I feel very, very hopeful about that. The difficulty is we're in the middle. When I'm a South African, and I was very involved in South Africa's transition from apartheid to democracy. For those years, I worked right in the middle of it, day in, day out. And it was one of the great privileges of my life. And something we used to say during those transition years, which was 4.5 years, was the old is dying and the new has not yet been born. And we're in the middle of that. And we're living between, it's a liminal space between what was and what will be. And my sense is that I've been through, at the level of a country, what we're now doing in the world. And one of the things that I would offer as lesson from that I certainly learned is that all of us can make a difference. And my example of that would be that as a citizen involved in helping to manage the conflict, to build peace as we went through this very conflictual time, I found myself involved in the transformation of the oppressive apartheid police to a police service concerned with the safety and security of all citizens. And we did it. The police, wow. The government, wow. The political parties and citizens like me, we all got involved. We all did it. And by the end, by the time Mandela was elected as the first democratic president of South Africa, we had, and wait for it, a ministry of safety and security, not a ministry of police. So I know that exactly, it's changed since then, but we did it. Political will can do it. But we citizens made a difference. And so my message here to everybody at this conference, to people in business and in whatever sector, we all are part of the human family, and we all can make a difference. And it's a matter of us directing our energies into what we value and what we care about. The deepest thing that I learned about in South Africa, though, was that we couldn't get through our conflict and our transformation with the same thinking as we had used before. We had to literally transform. And I think that we have there are lots of quotes around this from eminent people who talk about that we need to shift our thinking. And what I discovered was that the deep wisdom that lies in all of us, can be awakened by something like this. And I believe that that's being awakened now in the world.
Absolutely.
And that wisdom resides in you, Sheetal, in everybody who is at this conference, in everybody around. And particularly the people who are here at this conference have come because they have a passion. This is people who care deeply. By definition, people who are engaging here are people who have a passion. The title, as you said, is Reconnect, Reboot, Reset, Re-energizing enterprises in the world. I love the because we have to redo things at the
Absolutely, absolutely true.
And all of you, I mean, look at you. I mean, I just see your face. There's a passion and a longing there for us to do this well and to draw on the very best of who we are. And the good news is that each of us has a role, and each of us has a purpose. If any of us is missing in action, there's a hole in the fabric of life. So it's not just they will do it, the people over there, the policymakers or the bosses. No, it's not. It's each one of us. And for us to claim that wisdom, to say, I have a right to belong, I have a right to speak, I have a right to bring my voice, and I am willing to do the inner work also to bring my wisest voice. And so wisdom for me is the inner voice. And I wrote it down so I wouldn't, because I chat away about this stuff and then I forget what I'm really
Please
saying.
read it to us. Please read it to us.
Let me read you just a few lines, which
Absolutely.
is that wisdom is the voice of our inner knowing. To be wise is to be willing and able to listen to and act from that inner voice. As we experience life and learn from it, we deepen our wisdom. As we learn inner stillness, we make our wisdom more accessible. In turn, our growing wisdom nurtures the inner voice that is our North Star, our guide, and our source. It is a lifelong cycle that spirals us up towards our best selves. And that's an excerpt from a book I'm writing about.
I just love it. It is so meaningful and deep and spiritual, and you can just put this, whatever you've written, in every aspect of your life, and I bet it is a formula and a mantra to take you to a higher level. So it is just superb. It is amazing.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You are so encouraging. And I feel as I'm just having a chat with you, and you've invited me, Sheetal, you've invited me to speak and say a few things, and that's what I'm feeling, is this lovely connection with you.
Likewise, Susan.
Well, I am glad. And I did want to touch on what I think are some of the lessons of this pandemic. I think everything I'm saying that people really know, and often what we can serve, how we can serve for each other, is to remind us of what we know.
Absolutely.
And the wisdom to me that comes out of this pandemic is that we are all connected.
Absolutely.
That each of us matters, you matter, everybody matters, and that we are completely interdependent. And so this old notion of that we are these separate beings and doing our separate thing, it doesn't work, and it never has worked. And so when we understand these lessons and we understand that connection, then we can start to redraw our world as a world for all of us, not a world that just works for some people, which is what it is right now. And my generation holds a huge responsibility for that. And what I love to come and speak like this, because I know that nearly everybody is much younger than me. And I want to say, do things with live your life the way you want the world to be. That's the key to this, to live our lives the way we want the world to be, and not the way it's always been.
True.
We have to
So,
keep reinventing.
So be the change you want to see.
Absolutely. Yes.
I'm loving this. I am so loving this. So you are not old, Susan. You are young at heart and spirit, with a few extra years of experience, we could say, and we could surely take that experience and learn from it and do so much at our own different geographies that we are there, to create a history that would be really, really remembered for the future. I am so happy. I am so many of the things that you said, like all of us have parts to play. The thing that you mentioned, actually, Gestalt psychologists term it. They call it like the whole is more than the sum of the parts. So with each individual, with each community, it is not that's all. When you combine together, the power is much more. And that's exactly what you said. It's so beautifully you explained it. Oh, I'm so touched and I'm so moved. It's amazing. Yes.
Would you like me to continue?
Absolutely. Yes, please do. Please do.
I'm not quite sure how long you want me to talk about this. Well, let me say that something that at the beginning of this pandemic, because this is what we're living in right now, and we need to talk about it. And the German president, his name is Steinmeier, and he said right at the beginning, he said something so prescient, and it's sustained me throughout. He said, "This is not a war, it's a test of our humanity." And many of us are passing it with flying colors. Look at the way people are just jumping in to help each other. But there are also people who are not yet meeting that test, and at a policy level, at a government level, so we're learning, and we learn as we live our lives. As we grow in wisdom and as we grow in our lives, there are some things that can hold us back. And I wanted to, if there's time, just address very quickly 3 of them. And they are that, and I bet that everybody that's at this conference, well, just about everybody shares these. The one is perfectionism.
Okay.
The second is fear of failure, and the third is self-doubt. And what I want to say about these is that this is a time now when we've been forced into, in much of the world, we've been forced into isolation and self-isolation, and and it gives us time to reflect in a way that we normally don't in the rush of life. I mean, I was the vice president of a big organization, and I was running all the time for so many years. So this is a time of for me, a very blessed reflection. And perfectionism can really hold us back in that we are never enough. It affects us within, but it also affects what we do. And learning that that we can be good enough. That while perfectionism it pushes us to the good, it's a matter of threading the needle and knowing when to draw the line. And we can remember the words of Voltaire, who said, the perfect is the enemy of the good. And finding a way to balance the pushing the self because we never feel good enough, because that's where it comes from within, and accepting ourselves is a growth. It's a growth path. Similarly with fear of failure. One of the things about what we call failure in so much of the world is that it's really the way that we learn. We make mistakes and we learn. And I don't know if, I mean, I'm a great tennis fan. And there was a great tennis player, Billie Jean King. In fact, the big stadium in New York is named after her.
Okay.
And she once said, and she was a top tennis star. And she said, losing a match isn't a failure for me, it's research.
Wow.
You know, and so one of the ways we learn is by making our mistakes. So learning that failure keeps us trying, and that it's a way of learning, but also doing the inner work that doesn't say failure is bad, that allows us to be human. And all of this is, in the end, about recognizing that we are human and allowing ourselves. And the third one of self-doubt, you know, for me, self-doubt has kept me humble. It's the best way I can describe it. Too much self-doubt paralyzes us. You know, we just can't move. We have so much doubt about ourselves. However, as long as it doesn't paralyze us, and then the inner work, I will always say that will be the thing that can get us through it. It can be the engine for recognizing our humanity and for that humility, which we all need. And it's in the world of where we are recognized for how high we climb and so on, it's easy for people as they climb up to lose that humbleness, that humility. And it's something, again, that my generation has lived with. So what I've learned through these, thinking about these kinds of things and working with a lot of people in counseling, which I do as I counsel people all over the world, is, and these come up all the time, I'm reflecting back what people have said to me, is that I've learned that the best way I can serve is to be so fully myself that my true note, and I believe when we speak, it's our note coming out, that my true note opens the way for others to sound their true note too. So whatever it is, however flawed I am, however imperfect, however fearful, however doubtful I am, as I work with that, as I strengthen myself, as I got older, I learn that my note, with all its flaws, because I do not have, none of us has a perfect note. It's not one of us. Is that it allows us all to be human together, which comes back to the message of this pandemic, that we are in this together, that we are, although very unevenly in it together, it is here to teach us that we are one community. And so I would like to come to a close and with something that I wrote down that I wanted to remember. Two things. One is, I love this. An old Inuit woman, an Eskimo woman, was asked, what's the meaning of life? And she said, oh, that's easy. To take care of yourselves, to take care of each other, and to take care of the planet. And I find that so simple and so beautifully said and so perfect for this time, because we have a responsibility to ourselves, Sheetal. We have a responsibility to each other, and we have a responsibility to our planet. And each of us can exercise that in our lives. It doesn't have to be big. it can be small, it doesn't matter. Some of us are called to big things. You'll have at your conference online very big people, and some are working in small ways. They're all the same. It's all the same. And the other thing I wanted to say was this, which I absolutely love, and I can't find it. Oh, here we are. And to come back to that, living our lives the way we want the world to be. We really start within ourselves. When we doubt, when we have fear of failure, when we are perfectionists, when we don't think we can make a contribution, when we think we're too small to make a difference in the world, which is what many people say to me over the years. I've heard it again and again. What can I do? What difference can I make? The Dalai Lama once said, if you think you're too small to make a difference, try sleeping with a mosquito. So shall I end on notes?
That is deep. That is really, really deep. And I don't know, it's been an amazing session with you. It's almost been like you are the spiritual guru, and I am enjoying this session. I wish we could go on, but my takeaways from this have been that I don't know why I remember William Shakespeare when you said something like all of us have a part to play, where it came about all the world's a stage and all of us, you know, play our parts here. Yeah, absolutely. And for the thing that you said that all of us, you know, have our faults and we are the notes. However faulty our notes may be, we will sync and we will harmonize to create a symphony, I am sure.
Yes.
In this platform where, you know, there is so much of change and transformation that you had said that all of us, the countries are going through, everybody from, you know, governments to industries to the layman, everybody is going through the change, and I think we're ready to take the leap to move forward to make it a little better than what it was yesterday.
Yeah.
So it's amazing to have you on board and share with us all the experience that you've had, so much of positivity, so much of love, so much of experience, so much of takeaway. And I urge all the people who are viewing this, please do connect with Susan for all, you know, your doubts, queries, a one-on-one on our WEF platform. And it's been amazing, Susan. I can't say how thrilled, excited I am today. And you have been conferred with the award of the iconic woman creating a better world for all. Thank you so much for all that you've been doing. Thank you for being you. God bless and stay safe. Namaste.
Sheetal, thank you so much. Bless you. And I wish everybody such a great conference, and you particularly. Thank you.
Thank you, dear.
Shall I leave now?
Yes.
Yes, so I leave. So, oh, bye. Goodbye.
See you.
Bye.